Hello, guys. Good day, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. So, welcome to another video. So, this video is a weekly forecast and a weekly recap what happened last week and what we'll be looking for this week. So, let me take this off the parts so I'll have a plain stuff to look at for this week. So, go straight to our forecast. So, we'll go to our dollar. So what's happened this week? It's really interesting though. You know, this week I told you guys that okay, probably this week is actually having a long rejection, closing inside this range. So we're still looking for higher prices probably to this weekly fair value gap. It's more clear in daily. If you could all remember the last video, I was still leaning bullish, but overall the trend is still bearish for the dollar. Now the daily now is consolidating, but the weekly, if you should go to the weekly, you see that the weekly is very bearish. So that being said, the last video I said it's either we're going to sweep Friday and Thursday low, then continue higher at least to this target, or we wait for fair value gap to the downside. But I was leaning towards I was leaning towards price coming to this weekly fair value gap. So I'm not literally still trading the majors though, because I want the dollar to be really clear, because this is quite ugly price action for me. As you can see, you see that okay, price have actually come into the weekly fair value gap. There's a daily fair value gap here, and if you go to your 4-hour time frame, you will see that price coming into this weekly fair value gap. Now this daily fair value gap, price is rejecting it from this place, and it's just chaotic. So probably we'll wait and see what price does. It's either price will want to sweep this previous week high and continue lower, or if you should run this high going higher, then definitely we can still look for longs in the dollar at least to this fair value area here, the one I drew here. So that is just for the dollar. So since the dollar is like this, I'm not even just going to open my majors. I'll just wait for a clear. But some people did trade the dollar though, but I'm just still waiting. So down to ES, we spoke about ES and NQ for the weekly time frame. We say that okay, we're looking for more up prices, and as you can see, market literally gave good up prices. This was our target we're looking for. This line was our target we're looking for before, and price actually went there. Still going though, still going, reacting from this daily fair value gap. I'm still going, so probably we might literally get to this place. Let me just do something real quick. We can get to this place probably this new week. I'll delete this stuff in the chat. We can get to that place for this new week. So that is it for next week though. Then next week last week I took 2 trades. The trade was on AUD, the AUD pairs. Let me quickly just run through the trade so you guys can see and we talk about this new week. I took a trade on AUD CHF, yes, and AUD JPY. I know we're looking at CHF JPY, so let me just quickly run what happened on CHF JPY. You know, we're actually looking on CHF JPY. Last week we closed there, and I was like, okay, since price actually swept these swing highs, and let me draw the swing highs again. This price is actually sweeping the swing highs, this one coming into this weekly fair value gap. This is kind of like a deep retracement. We want to wait for more confirmation. More confirmation is either 4-hour fair value gap to the upside, or that is double 4-hour fair value gap, or a single daily fair value gap to the upside. So this is what chart actually did. We actually came into the weekly fair value gap, but there's actually a daily fair value gap here. So price came into the daily fair value gap, and we're expecting price to create a fair value gap here for Friday candle, but price didn't create any fair value gap. Not until on Thursday. That was when price literally created a fair value gap. After creating the fair value gap, so what we might likely to do, we might trade back into the fair value gap and look for higher prices. But we should come to the daily time frame now. Daily time frame, you can see that price actually have a 4-hour fair value gap coming into this 4-hour fair value area. So with what price actually does here, will determine if we're still going to retrace back into this fair value gap. Because if we should have 1-hour fair value gap to the downside now, because price is actually sitting at this 1-hour fair value gap, if we should have 4-hour fair value gap to the downside now, we can say yes, price might come into this daily fair value gap. But with that though, we just fingers crossed, we just wait and see what price actually does. So coming to the trade that actually took last week, that's for AUD CHF and AUD JPY. I'll just quickly break down the trade for you guys. So price came to this weekly fair value gap. I was looking for lower prices. Come to the daily time frame. I took the trade on a Tuesday, yes. Come to the daily time frame. This is my resistance zone that I feel like price might react from, then go up. So I was like, okay, let me take the trade, this stuff back. I was like, okay, I'm going to take a trade down to this week off. I'm seeing order flow in the 4-hour time frame. So what did I see in the 4-hour time frame? What I saw in the 4-hour time frame, I saw that okay, price actually swept this swing high, giving this 4-hour fair value gap to the downside. So what did I do? I just went to my 1 hour, because I took the trade on 1 hour. Both trades was on hourly time frame. So what I did was waited for price to come into this level. I'll press stuff now. And when price came into the level, that was around something New York, yes. And price did something like this, yeah. So this was what happened. So I just simply took the trade and see if I can squeeze out, yes, if I can squeeze out 2% from here before reaching this fair value gap, daily fair value gap. And I saw 2% from there, and I quickly took the trade, and it was instant profit to the downside. So that was the first trade though, and the second trade was still AUD pairs, but AUD JPY, yeah. So what did I see in the analysis? Yeah, price literally came to this fair value gap here, stroke fair value area. So the daily time frame, there is not much in the daily time frame. So you still come back to probably let me see the replay button. Come to this is Monday, yeah. So since price actually closed like this on a Monday, and I was like, okay, probably on Tuesday, what will I do? I'll be waiting for price action to continue lower. But what happened is that, as you can see, this is a fair value area, and this is a fair value gap. So for we to look for sell from this place, we need more confirmation to the downside. Then the more confirmation is the 1 hour time frame. So what price actually did, price actually came into the fair value area, 1 hour fair value area, and yes, so this was it. Let me take it back a bit so you see. So this was the fair value gap I saw here. Seeing this fair value gap, I was like, okay, I can still take a trade from here, cover the eyes, then I'll just target simply 2%. So this was the trade, just pretty clear, pretty simple, and it was an instant profit. So I was still expecting these lows to go, but I didn't take the trade to the lows. In case we still want to go up, I was expecting these lows to go. So before we look for, okay, before market actually reversed to the upside, I was looking for this lows to go because market needs liquidity to continue higher, if at all it wants to continue higher. And as you can see, market didn't just go there at all, it just kept going up. It didn't even sweep this liquidity, it just came back to my entry, but I've already left the trade already. So this week was quite profitable for me. It was like 4% profit for me. 4%, yeah. Two trade, I risked 1% each on this trade, and that was a 4% week for me. So what I'm looking at for this week, like I said, I'm still not touching the dollar. I will just still be focusing on process for now until the dollar is quite clear. That is when I'll tend to start trading pairs relating to the dollar. That is the majors: Euro, USD, GBP, USD, and the like. So AUD card, what is AUD card doing? Weekly time frame. It's quite simple though. We can see that the monthly time frame. What the monthly time frame do? You see this huge retracement, sweeping this low. So I'll be saying we might look for higher prices. We might though. Then coming to the weekly time frame, what the weekly time frame? Weekly time frame is still bearish. Why? Because we are seeing that there is fair value gap here, and the first candle, bigger candle sweep, but now the third candle closed above this candle. So we might want to be looking for higher prices. The reason why we want to look for just higher prices is if on a Monday this should create a fair value gap here. If the fair value gap should appear here, then we might want to look at price coming to the fair value gap, then looking for higher prices. So I will just keep this on the watch list. But if fair value gap didn't appear here for Monday, we'll just take it out and just still wait. So AUD CHF, you can see that the AUD CHF is strong. That's why you're seeing price finding it difficult to go across this previous week high. But you can see AUD JPY, you can see that it totally disrespected this fair value area. So we can see the total disrespect. So we can say the next target for AUD JPY is still higher prices, probably to this highs over here, this swing high, template, one day lead. Oh, this is supposed to be weekly. So what is the daily time frame doing? The daily time frame, we can see that okay, daily time frame is actually we can see that there's a let me delete this fair value gap so it can be clear for you. So what is the daily time frame doing? The daily time frame here, we can see that it created a fair value gap here, but now we don't know if price might come into this fair value gap before going higher. We check that on the lower time frame. Let's see the 4-hour time frame. Okay, now we might expect price to come into this daily fair value gap. If price should come into this daily fair value gap, currently price is not respecting any PDRA here over here, not at all. So we might expect price to come here. We just look for 1 hour fair value gap to the upside and look for higher prices. So this is quite interesting. We put it on weights. Go to AUD NZD monthly, weekly. Now AUD is quite strong. CAD CHF. This is a weekly time frame. We can see that the first candle closed in and the second candle was sweeping. They might expect lower prices. Check the daily time frame. You see it quite consolidating. See that price actually came into this fair value area I was talking about. So we see the higher prices, but now price is refusing to close above this swing highs over here. Refusing to close above this swing high, and as you can see, there is a, let me delete this so it can be clear. There is a fair value gap here. Daily BC, there's a fair value gap here. So going to the 4-hour time frame, what is 4? You see it's just choppy, so we just leave this for now until market is clear before we can want to do anything with it. CAD JPY, CAD, check the weekly time frame. I want to see fair value gap to the upside. I want to see intentions. Now we've seen one fair value gap now, but price is actually sweeping this swing high. Then if price should come into this fair value gap, we want to see a 4-hour fair value gap to the upside. But I'm not going to put it because the card pair is quite weak. JPY is weak. I can't pay the 2 weak pairs. Then CHF JPY. I CHF JPY, this is our pair, and like I said, we'll still wait for price to come in. We'll still wait for price to come into our daily fair value gap, then higher prices. Then Euro card, not that interesting for me. Euro CHF, Euro JPY, Euro NZD. GBP NZD. No. GPAUD. It's quite nice though. It's quite nice. GPA is quite nice. I must say it's quite nice. You can see price actually. So we can say for sure that this bias is very, very clear. GPAD is very, very clear because we're expecting price to come to this monthly fair value gap. It's very clear. The bias is very, very clear. So this would be monthly BC. So we can put this on waiting list because go to the weekly time frame now. We can see this huge move to the downside. Go to the daily time frame. Now we'll see this huge move. So it's either price might just go straight to this place on a Monday, or we see fair value gap before downside. But let's see what the 4-hour is doing. The 4-hour, there's a fair value gap here. I want to see market coming to this fair value gap before touching the monthly fair value gap. Then we'll look for lower prices from this RCB. Okay, I just want price to go there, just trade up to that point, then look for trade down to probably this lows here. It will be very, very nice for me. It's going to be very, very nice. So this low, I just want price to just come up on a Monday, do its thing. Let's see the 4-hour, 1 hour. I don't want 1 hour fair value gap to appear here. If 1 hour fair value gap to appear here, there's likely a chance that we might not get here. But if this should just come over here, consolidate, and just touch, that would be a very, very nice trade for me coming into this new week. So that being said, let's continue. GBP card, not interesting for me. Interesting, but not really that interesting. Oh, there's a fair value gap to the downside. We might look for. Let's just put this on the watch list as well. Weekly time frame. I'm trying to be fast. I don't want the video to be extra too long, but weekly time frame. No. Oh no. What's the card? No. You see, we're expecting this daily fair value gap. So for now, no. NZD CHF, no. NZD JPY, no. We might expect price to come to this swing high. So I would say this is just about it though. Probably on next video I'll try and release a video during the week, so I'll just talk about what I'm looking for. If anything do change, I'll just tend to update you guys and see what we're trading and what we're not trading, because sometimes we want to trade a particular thing but price might tend to change, because you might be expecting a fair value gap, but like what happened in the CHF JPY trade. The CHF JPY trade now, for example, we're actually expecting a daily fair value gap here. Here is it. We're expecting a daily fair value gap here to appear here, but price didn't actually appear. You just see that price actually disregard the fair value gap from actually happening until this huge move and you see the fair value gap. So you never can tell. Things can literally change during the week. So if anything should change, I'll just come up here and update you guys. So thanks for watching. See you when I see you, and bye.